Hi guys, thanks so much. I'm Jack, the trainer from Down Under, and thanks so much for joining us here on the Men's Movement. This week we've been talking about ice cream and enjoying your ice cream and eating your ice cream and just really having, a treat with your ice cream. So stay tuned because we're going to take you through the sinking phase right through to the walking and talking phases here on the men's movement. Before we go there, I want to tell you a bit about what we do here on the men's movement. We do the Monday minutes on Monday, we do the coffee fit chips on Wednesday, and then we do the deeper dives on Friday. And this is Friday for a deeper dive. So sit back, watch this on your big screen, drive along in the car if you want to and listen to this just as a podcast rather than watching it. However you're consuming this, I want you to start really enjoying it, and I hope you do enjoy this session because this session is a really important session because it's not just about the ice cream. I want to take you back to about a couple of years ago where I was working with this particular guy, and he was having his ice cream, and he was really, um, if you like, consuming an ice cream, and we had to work out what was happening. So this particular guy was eating this ice cream, and what was happening as he was eating the ice cream, he was telling me he had to eat the ice cream, driving along in the car with the window down, and this was not the only treat he was having while he was driving, but he had to have it while he was driving, window down and driving, and we had to work out what was happening from this because he was feeling really bad. He was overweight, and he was in what I call the sinking phase. And when you're in the sinking phase, you're stuck. You're stuck, and you're feeling really guilty because you've got this. You've got about 10, 15, 20 k's overweight. You don't want to be taken. Have photos taken of you. Your wife says get in the photo, and you sort of hide at the back behind the kids. You can't pull on you can't put your shoes on anymore. You bend down and hurt your back. You're out of breath. You go up one flight of stairs and you feel out of breath, and you're feeling really stuck. And that's what I call the sinking phase, where you're not feeling sort of good about yourself and you feel stuck. And so to get out of that phase, because it feels bad being in that phase. And what he found him also was doing was he was driving along and driving home from work the same way, and he'd stop at the servo and he'd feel guilty, but he'd get an ice cream and cheer himself up. He didn't know why he wanted to cheer himself up with the ice cream, but he did. He chose ice cream, and this is really interesting because people choose different things. And if you're out there listening to this, you're going to feel and you're going to sort of relate to this because you're going to grab something from a shelf and it's going to be different from an ice cream. But what happens is exactly the same thing. You're going to have those sinking feelings exactly like this guy. We want to take you from the stage where you never, ever have to feel guilty again about getting on those scales, and you're going to get your body back. And that's what we do here. So he'd grab the ice cream and he'd go into a pattern. He'd get the ice cream, and before he even got back to the car, he'd found himself, he'd opened the ice cream, and the car had started up, and he was driving along in the freeway again. He had the window down, and the wind flashing past him, and he's consuming the ice cream. He wasn't even tasting it. Right, the radio's on, and he's just so distracted, and he's subconsciously or unconsciously, not unconsciously, he's subconsciously eating his ice cream. He wouldn't be eating it unconsciously, and this is just merely consuming. And when you're consuming food, you're stuck in the sinking phase. All right, now this is really awkward to get out of that sinking phase, and you probably found yourself, the viewer here, and this guy particularly. He's tried all sorts of things, tries all sorts of diets before, and it didn't quite get there. He couldn't get there. He felt he couldn't have any willpower. He told himself, not today. I'll start again on Monday. Next thing you know, he's back at the servo on Monday as he's driving home from work, and he finds himself in exactly the same position he was last week. And he's confronted with this. He's got no willpower. He's tried every diet out there. He's tried keto. He's tried all these diets, but he's got the ice cream in his hand, and it's a guilt cycle, and it keeps him going and keeps him going. He can't touch his toes. He's putting on weight. Avoids going on the scales, but he knows he's putting on weight. He's feeling guilty. He's stuck. You're stuck, and you're sinking. You feel like you're in quicksand. You're sinking, and it's a really unfortunate feeling, and it's one that many clients of mine have experienced, and possibly you are out there avoiding mirrors. You don't want to go in the photos. It's sad. So we've got to get you into the thinking part, because that's the sinking part of the ice cream. So we've got to get you into the thinking stage. We want you to go from the sinking phase. We want you to become thin. That's your goal, is become thin, but you can't get there unless you do the thinking. Right now, I know it's a play on words, but it's a really big play on words because words have power and your actions have power. And this is what happens to him. This is what was happening. So I said to him, when did you first start eating ice cream? What's your first memory of eating ice cream? He said, I just had ice cream when I was a kid. I said, nah, you're not just having ice cream when you're a kid. When do you have ice cream? So he started saying, well, I had ice cream. And as he was telling the story, he could really you could see it unraveling in front of him. He said, well, I used to have ice cream with my dad. I said, oh, really? What do you mean you had ice cream with your dad? He said, we had ice cream with your dad. I said, okay, so you used to sit at home and no, we were in the car. I said, oh, okay, so you were in the car with your dad. So the ice cream was already in the car. He goes, no. What we do is we drive down to the servo. Dad would pull over at the servo. He'd go inside, get the ice cream, and as he'd drive off, he'd wind his window down. So I'd wind my window down. He'd turn the music on, and he just stopped short there, and he goes, whoa, the penny dropped, as happens a lot with my clients. He realized he wasn't eating the ice cream. He was consuming a memory. Had nothing to do with the food at all. He was a kid eating ice cream in a car with his dad. That's powerful. That's a powerful memory, guys. There's a connection between food and your memories. There's a lot of connections between food and your memories, and this is the thinking phase. If you don't do the thinking phase, you'll go straight back to the thinking phase. If a trainer out there says to you, "Hey, cut out ice cream," the trainer's really saying, "Hey, cut out the memory of your dad. Cut out that beautiful memory of being with your dad alone in the car. How good is that? That is gold. Acknowledge it. This is not a time to blame your dad and saying it's my dad's fault while I can't eat. No, acknowledge the memory and really enjoy that memory of the ice cream melting over your hands and running down your face as a 7-year-old. How cool's that? What a great dad his dad was, giving him an ice cream and sharing a great memory with him. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're still craving the connection with your dad and craving the connection there, and then you acknowledge this, and sorry, not acknowledging this and then blaming it on your dad, no way. We're acknowledging the memory, but we've got to do something else. Because we're going through the thinking phase. We've got to get you thinking, and we've got to get you thinking about that beautiful moment you're having and sharing with, whether it was your dad or mum or whoever it was. There's a connection there. There's a connection. Whoever it was with, there's a connection, whether it was your brother or sister. I've had clients say the same thing about ice cream, and it was with their friends from uni, and they were driving along with their friends in uni, and they wind down the windows, and they're eating the ice cream, and now they're finding they can't eat ice cream sitting still. They've got to be driving along in the car with the window down in the freeway. So there's a big connection with food and memories. Don't think it's not. Don't think you're special and you haven't got this. You've got this. Go inside your head and really think about, what does the food mean to you? Now, this is all very well. So how do we change it? Because just saying cut out the food does not cut it. The cutting out doesn't cut it. So I've been working with clients for years. Over 4 decades I've been doing this I'm the trainer from Down Under, doing it in the studio here in Melbourne, in Australia, and I've been doing this. And we've been doing it for years with my clients. And what we do, I get them to discover something which is amazing. We get them to do the thinking. We get them to do the thinking. And what we do, not only thinking, we get them to do a thing called a thought zapper. And a thought zapper, you're wearing a thought zapper. You've got your thought zapper right now on you, whether it's a ring on your finger, whether it's a watch, whether it's a bracelet, whether it's something around your neck. Those rubber bands you can go and buy from any shop, those $2 shops, get a rubber band. That's your thought zapper. And what we're going to do, because what this gentleman found was he'd be at the car, and then before he knew it, he was at the servo. And before he knew it, he was opening the door of the servo. Before he knew it, he was at the front of the service station. Before he knew it, he was going his hand in the ice cream packet. Before he knew it, he was at the servo buying it. All these stages, we've got to get you zapped out of those stages. And your thought zapper is going to help you. So if you find yourself at the counter of the servo or whatever it is for you, you touch your thought zapper and go, hold on a second. And then we're going to do what we're going to do in a second. And it's a powerful thing. If you find yourself about to open the door of the car, it's at the servo, you're about to open the door, you reach for your thought zapper and you go, and you get back in the moment. We do the thinking. All right. If you're driving along and you're about to pull into the servo, pull in safely into the servo and stop and go into your thought zapper. And then we go and we're going to do the thinking. So you've got to get into the stage of stopping what you're about to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'll cover this more and more as the weeks progress. There's nothing wrong with being in that stage. We're going to honor it. We're going to lean in and acknowledge it. And what happens next is really powerful. We're going to do the thinking. We've got the thoughts happen. Now we're going to do the thinking. And we're going to buy the ice cream, but we're going to buy it and really consciously buy it. No more unconsciously or subconsciously buying that ice cream. It's not subconsciously. It's because unconscious is when you're asleep. No lot more. We're going to consciously buy it. We want to be thinking when we buy that ice cream and really choose that ice cream that gives you that memory of your dad, whatever it is. Just choose the ice cream. And we're going to pay for it. And we're going to go back to the car. We're going to sit in that car. And we're going to drive somewhere really special, whether it's at the end of the road, whatever you're going to do, we're going to drive somewhere. We're going to sit silently. If you want to put the music on, put the music on. If you want the music off, turn the music off. If you want the window open, open the window. We're going to open that wrapper and smell it. And whatever memory comes to you of your dad, or whether it was your mum or whoever it was. But this particular guy was his dad. Okay, so I'm talking about this particular guy. And he's going to open it up and he's going to smell the ice cream. Right? He's going to taste it. He's about to put it to his mouth. What memory comes up for him? If you do this exercise, it's so powerful. And put it between the lips and anticipate what it's going to taste like. And really remember what's happening. You know, for him, it was his dad driving along. And then bite and let that mouthful of ice cream just just sink in. You can probably taste it right now. I've had clients do it with all sorts of different food. And then start chewing and slowly chewing and let the taste buds, the enzymes jump on that and really taste that food. And what happens is amazing. You'll be blown away with this, because when you do the thinking, because you get the thoughts happens that get you in that moment, and we do the thinking, it's amazing. What happens next is crazy. They've done studies with this, and I've done my own studies. Over 4 decades I've worked with clients. It's almost freaky. It's almost cheating your way to weight loss. It's a cheat way. Once you can find this, it's like, oh my God, you lose weight and you go, how is this happening so easy? Because they've done studies where if you do this way of eating, you eat a slither of a banana and it's like you've eaten a whole banana. So in this particular case, this particular gentleman, he would eat 1 or 2 bites of the ice cream and throw the rest in the bin. Easy. Because he wasn't eating food. He was consuming a memory of his dad. And when he acknowledged that and leaned in and honored that and really had the memory and did the thinking and had the thoughts after stopping him and did the thinking, he could really eat his food. And that's the thing we want to do. We want to eat your food. We do not want to consume a memory, guys. And that's really powerful. When you eat your food, you're no longer consuming the memory. And this is great. And this is what this phase does. So if you go from the thinking phase to the thinking phase, and now we're going to tell you about the rest of the phases we're going to do, because once you do that, and it's no longer a trainer saying to you, cut out food. You don't feel guilty about eating the food. You honor the memory. You're successful in the weight loss, and you probably lose between 4 and 10K by doing the thinking phase. Once you acknowledge, and this is beautiful. It's a connection here with your memory of whatever it is, your father, your parents, your grandmother, and it's not to blame them. It's just to acknowledge it, and you don't feel guilty anymore. You don't hide the food. You're not quickly throw the wrapper away before you get home so the kids don't see you eat the wrapper. It's those feelings, those sinking feelings. So we've gone from the sinking feeling. We go from the sinking feeling. You're no longer feeling guilty in your sinful, to the thinking feeling and get the thoughts happening. And then we feel fantastic. And we're no longer worried about stopping in the freeway and doing it. We're looking back. We're looking forward now. Food tastes fantastic. Enjoy it. Lean into the memory of the food. So then when we've done that, we become to the next phase, which is called, the next phase is called the walking phase. And that's where you do the front door champion phase and become a front door champion. Because what I do in the front door championships, you can see up there on the front door, up there, the front door challenge, I get you to become a front door champion. And it's really fantastic to become a front door champion, because for 30 days, I get you out the door, and I encourage you, you get training sessions come to you every day for 30 days. And I get you out the door going left or right. And along the way, I'm training you and I'm telling you, and we're consolidating these things. So this is the sort of thing I talk about. every day for 30 days. And we consolidate this. I give you example after example after example of clients who've done this. And we get you going from the thinking phase and get you in the thought phase. And you learn things like how to eat from the knife, so how to eat from the table. And I get you how to eating and doing weight training and all sorts of stuff. And you no longer go from feeling guilty with this. You go from being really consciously eating, and we consolidate this in the walking phase. And this is awesome. We get you walking and honoring and eating your food. And this is great. We lock these habits in forever. Forever. You are no longer going to feel guilty and feel worried about getting on scales again, because you're going to be losing weight and you're going to be changing shape. So when you drive past the servo, you're not going to have that white-knuckled feeling of, I've got no willpower, I'm useless, I'm guilty. You know, that all the stuff that they try to get you to do in this, what I call the unhealthy health industry. You're not going to do that anymore, because you've already lost 4, 5, 10K from just walking and doing the thoughts. It's going to be fantastic. It's not a lack of your willpower. It's a lack of those trainers not understanding how to do it, because those trainers don't know how to do it like this. They're stuck in their thinking because they've got to have control over you. So I call it the unhealthy health industry. Look back there. There's a book called Big Fat Lies that I wrote, which discovers or this exposes all this crap in the health and fitness industry. So, and that book, by the way, you get, if you go down to the description below, you get that book, a free copy of that book. So don't not get that book. That helps you get this stage of the walking phase, to consolidate it. You read it, you hear me say it to you every day, and you do it. You go from the sinking to the thinking to the walking phase. And after you've done the walking phase, is where it gets really great. Because now, when you approach and join a gym, because I'm going to encourage you to join a gym. I want you to join a gym. You've done the walking phase. Now we're going to do a really cool thing. We're going to do the bulking phase. And I align you with a gym. So if you're having trouble finding a gym, I help you find a gym. We've got some gym partners out there that help you, and we'll email them and tell them what you want. We want them to do with you. But if you're doing it by yourself, that's fine. We'll help you too. Stick at the program. And whatever program you're doing in the gym, it doesn't matter what you lift, because it's safe now. Because you're 10, 15 Ks lighter, you'll stick at the program easier. And you'll find being at the gym better, because you won't be in this sinking phase of feeling crap because you're not going to the gym. You've got this membership and you feel, oh, there's another thing I have to do. You don't feel guilty. There's no sinning here. And you approach the gym with a different attitude, and you'll get results because you're not 10, 15 Ks heavier than you were 8, 12 weeks ago. So you get results, and you start moving your body, and you feel fantastic, and your posture's better, and people start noticing, and you start going like this. Every day is getting better and better and better. And that's the bulking phase. We're bulking up not just muscles, but we're basing it, and we're layering it. And it's just amazing how you go so quickly from a walking phase to the bulking phase. So because you do the exercises, it's much easier. And if you get a trainer, you don't feel bad about bending over, because you don't hurt your back imagine a 10, 15 kilogram heavier stomach in front of you, and you're doing the exercises the trainer is getting you to do, and you're apprehensive, and you do your back, and now you're back to where you were, 12, 15 months ago. This is awesome. And if you don't do this, trust me, because I have clients who come and see me and they've done what you are probably in, the sinking phase, and they go and join a gym and they feel bad and they stop again, they start again, they stop again and start again. You never have to start again with this program. So we go from the sinking to the thinking to the walking to the bulking, and then we get which is really powerful, and this is amazing, right? Once you've done the bulking phase and you feel fantastic, this is stick with me. This is awesome, this phase, because it happens all the time. So a couple of months ago, there I was, and I used a coffee shop across the road from me. I go to the coffee shop, and I've got a new client with me, and I take them through the thinking phase, and we acknowledge it's how the thinking is in the thinking phase. And what happens? I'm just writing this down here because this is wild. I'm there working with a client, brand new client, and he's talking about chocolate and what chocolate means. I'm leaning in and asking him when did he first start eating chocolate and all the stuff. And around the corner comes that original client. And he runs in, he stops, has the bubble take, sees me working with this guy. He probably recognizes himself 12 months ago. Pardon me. And he comes in and he says, whatever Jack's telling you, trust me, it works. just do it. And he walks out. It was really funny. And so he did, and helped me coin this phase. This is the talking phase, because once you do this, you'll become the talking and you'll do the talking. And you can't wait to help others. And you'll be a tall king because you'll be so proud because you're 15, 20 Ks lighter, and you'll tell others. And that's what, if you look at that, it's been going underneath the video all the way through this video, through this deeper dive. Once you change one man, you can change the shape of the whole community, and we do it one man at a time. And that's what we do here at the movement. And that's what the King program's all about. We go from the sinking phase right up to the talking phase, where you're going to help people, and I call it the ripple effect. You're going to create and help create a ripple effect, which changes the shape of the whole community. And this is powerful, because not only are you going to be changing, but your whole family's going to notice this, and your kids are going to notice it, your partner's going to notice it, your mates at work are going to notice it, and you'll talk and you'll tell them what to do. And this is awesome. If they want to do it with us and become front door champions, whereas over there, and become front door champions, great. I don't mind if you just tell them to do it and they just do it, because it will help everyone. Because we want to change the shape of the whole community one man at a time. And that's what we do here on the movement. So we want to, get you from the sinking phase right through to the talking phase. And we honor every king out there. And this is powerful. And we do this particular client was doing it, what I was working with was doing it with chocolate. The client I mentioned right at the beginning of this phase was doing it with his chocolate. The other client was doing it with his ice cream. Sorry, that's right. We talked about the ice cream. And you'll be doing whatever you're doing your phase with. What's your memory? And on Monday next week, because what we do in the movement, we take you through the Monday minutes on Monday, the coffee fit tips on Wednesday, and then we do the deeper dives on Friday. And if you become a front door champion and do the front door championship program there, the front door champions also comes with a live stream, live feed that you get to, I'm invited in a private group every week as part of the front door championships. So become front door champions, get you going at the front door, and you get a secret live thing that we do every weekly to keep you going and keep you part of the challenge, because I want you to be front door champions and help you move and change your shape and change everyone, and you'll never, ever have to worry about getting on the scales again, and to help you get your body back with guilt-free. We honor things, we acknowledge whatever's happening, we do walking, get you bulking, get you talking, we get you becoming kings of your domain. And that's what we're doing here on the men's movement. We want you to become, this is the king method. We're going to add, not just, get you to get your life back, we're going to add years onto your life. And this is the awesome thing, and we help you get your body back. So don't forget the free book over there. There it is down there, the free copy of my book, bigfatlies.com.au. And if you want to become a front door champion, the link is below. In fact, I'm not sure how to do this. No, I can't work it out right now. But if you go on down below you, if you want to become a front door champion, if you're ready to go right now, go for it. But every Monday, every week, we go through the deeper dives, and we thank you for being this. And the ice cream, there's nothing wrong with ice cream, guys. Lean in, enjoy your food. Eat your food. Don't consume memories. If you eat your food, you get your results. If you consume food, you get a different result. Your choice is yours. We look forward to seeing less of you next time. Take care, guys. See you next Monday. Cheers. Bye.
You've been listening to the Men's Movement. Look forward to seeing less of you next time.